Welcome to the Moonlight Message. From the moment the first settlers stepped onto American soil, Christianity was not merely a personal belief. It was the foundation upon which a new world would be built. The Pilgrims who crossed the Atlantic in 1620 were not simply seeking a new home. They were seeking the freedom to worship God as their conscience demanded. Governor William Bradford recorded their journey as a covenant with the Almighty, a people called to build something holy in an unsettled land. Puritan minister John Winthrop gave that calling its most enduring image: "We shall be as a city upon a hill. The eyes of all people are upon us." By the time the Revolution drew near, Christianity had woven itself into the very fabric of colonial life. Churches were not simply houses of worship, they were centers of community, education, and moral authority. The Founding Fathers, though varied in their personal theology, understood the indispensable role of faith in a free republic. George Washington wrote plainly, "It is impossible to govern the world without God and the Bible." Benjamin Franklin, at the Constitutional Convention of 1787, called the delegates to prayer, declaring that God governs in the affairs of men. John Adams was equally direct. Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other. Throughout the 19th century, the Christian faith shaped the soul of a growing nation. The First and Second Great Awakenings swept across the country, revivals that filled fields, forests, and frontier towns with the sound of preaching and prayer. Figures like Charles Finney, Dwight L. Moody, and thousands of circuit-riding ministers carried the gospel from the Atlantic to the Pacific. The abolitionist movement, driven by men and women of deep Christian conviction, led the nation to confront its greatest moral failure. At the height of the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln called the nation to a day of humiliation, fasting, and prayer, acknowledging that the conflict was a divine reckoning for the sin of slavery. The 20th century brought both challenge and renewal. 2 world wars tested the faith of a nation, and yet, in those darkest hours, American Christianity held firm. Billy Graham preached to millions, in stadiums, on television, and over the airwaves, calling generations back to the grace of God. The Civil Rights Movement, led by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., drew its power and its language from the Scriptures. "I have a dream," Dr. King proclaimed, "that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed." Today, American Christianity faces new challenges: a rapidly shifting culture, new questions, and a world that earlier generations never imagined. And yet, the church endures. Across this great land, in small country churches and sprawling city congregations, men and women of faith continue to gather. They serve their neighbors, raise their families, and seek the face of God. America's Christian heritage is not merely history. It is a living inheritance, entrusted to every generation, including ours. From all of us at the Moonlight Message, we wish you a blessed July 4th. Please like, subscribe, share, and click on the notification icon so you will never miss an episode.